Hello, everyone. Let's be honest. Most men get it wrong when a woman walks away. They start chasing harder, calling more, explaining themselves, begging for another chance, thinking that if they just try a little more, she'll finally wake up and see what she lost. But here's the painful truth. The harder you chase, the faster she runs. The more you show her you can't live without her, the more she convinces herself that she can live perfectly fine without you. Attraction doesn't grow in pity, it grows in respect. And respect is born when you show strength, not desperation. If you want to make a woman regret losing you, you don't do it by words, by speeches, or by proving yourself. You do it by silence. You do it by disappearing. You do it by cutting her off completely, without hesitation and without announcement. No, we can still be friends. No, I'll always be here for you. No, just checking up on you. Nothing. The power is in absence. The regret grows when she feels your energy missing. When she notices you are not available like before. When she realizes that the comfort she once had is gone, and it may never come back. Think about it. People don't miss what's always there. They miss what disappears. They don't value what they can reach anytime. They value what is out of reach. That's why cutting her off is not weakness. It's the ultimate strength. It shows her without you saying a single word that you are not a man who depends on her for happiness. You are not waiting in the corner like a backup plan. You are not stuck in her shadow. You are moving forward, building yourself, creating a life that she can either watch from a distance or regret not being part of. And here's the key. Regret doesn't come instantly. It creeps in slowly. At first she feels free. She thinks she made the right choice. But days pass, weeks pass, and suddenly the silence becomes heavy. She checks your name on her phone. She wonders why you haven't reached out. She compares you with the men around her and realizes the difference. That's when the regret hits. That's when she knows she lost something rare. And it only happens when you cut her off completely. 1. She tries to get your attention in small ways, When you cut a woman off completely, the first sign of regret often comes in the smallest ways. She won't start with a direct, "I miss you." No, that would be too obvious. Instead, she'll throw little signals, hoping you'll bite. Maybe she views your stories after ignoring you for weeks. Maybe she likes an old picture of yours at 2 a.m. Maybe she suddenly posts quotes about losing a good man or appreciating what you had. These are not accidents. These are calculated moves to see if you still care, to test if she still has a place in your world. Why does she do this? Because regret begins as curiosity. She cuts you off thinking she can replace you. But when silence stretches, she starts to wonder what you're doing without her. Is he happier? Is he moving on? Did he already replace me? And those questions eat at her ego. Women hate the idea of being forgotten. So, she'll test you with little hooks. Not because she's fully ready to come back, but because she wants to know if you're still looking at her. If you react, she wins. If you stay silent, she loses, and the regret grows even deeper. This is where most men fail. They see a little breadcrumb, like a random hey text, a sudden emoji reaction, and they jump at it. They reply instantly, thinking it's their chance to get her back. But in reality, that was not a comeback. That was a test. A test to see if you still revolve around her. And the moment you react, she knows she still has power over you. The regret dies instantly because she realizes you were never gone. But if you don't respond, if you don't give her the attention she's craving, something shifts in her mind. She starts feeling the sting of rejection. She remembers how easily she used to have you, and now she can't. That's when her curiosity turns into genuine regret. That's when she starts realizing that losing you wasn't just a decision. It might have been her biggest mistake. And that feeling will only grow stronger as long as you keep your silence and control. 2. She starts. She starts comparing every man to you. Comparing every man to you. When a woman regrets losing you, one of the clearest signs is that she begins comparing every man she meets to you, and none of them measure up. At first, she might have thought she upgraded. Maybe she started talking to someone else. Maybe she went back to the dating market, thinking men like you are everywhere. But reality hits hard. She soon realizes that the things you did so naturally, the way you carried yourself, the way you treated her, the way you made her feel, are rare, very rare. And that's when the comparisons begin. She goes on a date and notices the man can't hold a conversation like you did. He doesn't have your confidence. He doesn't make her laugh the same way. He doesn't protect her energy the way you did. She starts to think back to the little things she overlooked when she had you. The late night talks, the way you understood her moods, the effort you gave without being asked. And now she realizes that what she thought was normal, what she thought she could easily replace, was actually special. That's the seed of regret. The dangerous part for her is that these comparisons don't stop. Once her mind starts measuring every man against you, she can't turn it off. Even if she tries to move on, she keeps bumping into the same wall. He's not him. And the more she notices the difference, the more she wishes she still had you. Now, here's the key. You don't create this regret by trying to show her you're better. You create it by absence. By cutting her off, you force her to experience life without you. And that's when her new reality looks pale, empty, and disappointing compared to the life she had when you were around. That's why silence is powerful. You're not proving anything. You're not begging for recognition. You're letting her own experiences remind her who you were. This is the moment when regret shifts from curiosity to pain. Because now it's not about missing attention. It's about realizing she lost something unique. She starts wishing she could go back, but deep down she knows your silence means she may never get that chance again. And that is where true regret burns the deepest. 3. She finds excuses to contact. You contact you. One of the strongest signs a woman regrets losing you is when she suddenly starts finding random reasons to contact you. At first, she told herself she was done. She said she'd moved on. But silence has a way of breaking even the strongest ego. When you've cut her off completely and she feels that emptiness, she won't come back with, "I miss you," right away. Instead, she'll invent excuses. She'll text you about something small, like asking about a restaurant you once took her to, or pretending she needs help with something only you would know. Sometimes it's as simple as a, "Hey, just checking in after weeks or months of nothing." These aren't genuine questions. They're her way of cracking the door open again. Why does she do this? Because regret is uncomfortable. She doesn't want to admit she was wrong. She doesn't want to swallow her pride and say she made a mistake. So she takes the easy path. Excuses. By making it look casual, she saves face. But beneath that casual message is a storm of emotion. She's hoping you'll respond the way you used to, with excitement, with availability, with the old energy she took for granted. She's not reaching out for the information. She's reaching out for your presence. Here's the trap most men fall into. They see that little excuse text and jump at it. They pour out everything they've been holding back, telling her how much they missed her, giving her the validation she's secretly craving. And just like that, all the regret she felt vanishes because she knows you were waiting all along. That's why the real power is in how you handle it. If you ignore it or give a short, controlled reply, you remind her that you are not the same man she left. You remind her that your world doesn't stop for her anymore, And that silence or indifference eats away at her ego more than anything else. The more she tries to pull you back with excuses and fails, the heavier her regret becomes. Because now she sees what she lost was not just love. It was access, comfort, and a place in your life that she no longer controls. And that realization cuts deeper than any words you could ever say. 4. She brings up. Old memories brings up old memories. When a woman regrets losing you, one of the clearest signs is that she starts bringing up the past. Out of nowhere, she reminds you of little moments you shared together, songs you listened to, places you visited, inside jokes only the two of you would understand. She doesn't do this by accident. She does it because those memories still live in her mind. And now that you've cut her off, they replay louder than ever. Regret makes the past feel warmer, softer, more valuable than it did when she had it in her hands. At first, she may casually drop something like, "Remember that trip we took?" Or, "I was just thinking about that time you said." Don't be fooled. This isn't nostalgia. It's longing. It's her way of trying to reconnect with the emotions she once felt with you, the feelings she now realizes were rare. When a woman brings up old memories, what she's really saying is, "I miss the way you made me feel, and I can't recreate it with anyone else." The reason this happens is simple. Human beings attach the strongest emotions to memories, especially when they're connected to someone who impacted them deeply. And when you cut her off completely, she doesn't get new memories with you. She only has the old ones. So her mind clings to them, replays them, and slowly convinces her that she made a mistake letting them go. This is where your discipline is tested, because when she brings up the past, your emotions get triggered too. You'll feel the urge to smile, to engage, to relive those moments with her. But remember, if you jump into those memories too quickly, she wins back the comfort she lost. Regret only grows when she realizes that those good times are gone and she no longer has access to them. By staying calm, detached, and nonchalant when she tries to revisit the past, you show her that those memories belong to history. You don't live there anymore. And that burns because it makes her realize that while she's stuck replaying what once was, you're out there creating new memories with or without her. That's when regret cuts deep. When she knows the best parts of her past were with you, but the future belongs to someone she gets jealous of your growth else. 5. She gets jealous of your growth. When you cut a woman off completely, one of the strongest signs of regret is her sudden jealousy of your growth. At first, she may have thought walking away was her win. She believed you would stay stuck, hurt, maybe even desperate for her attention. But when she sees that you didn't crumble, when she sees that you've leveled up, improving yourself in silence, that's when the regret hits hard. Nothing stings more than realizing the man she left behind became better without her. It starts small. Maybe she notices you look sharper, more confident, stronger in your pictures. Maybe she hears from mutual friends that you've been working on yourself, chasing goals, moving forward with purpose. And deep down, she can't stand it because she expected you to stay where she left you. Instead, you evolved. That's when jealousy creeps in. She starts comparing her stagnant life with the new version of you. And in that comparison, regret is born. Here's the truth. Growth is the loudest revenge. You don't have to post flashy updates. You don't have to prove anything directly. Simply by focusing on yourself, by cutting her off and pouring that energy into building your life, you create a silent pressure she cannot escape. She sees you're no longer the same man she took for granted, and that realization makes her wish she'd stayed. This jealousy can show up in different ways. She might suddenly start watching all your moves online. She might try to insert herself back into your life, just to see if she still matters. Sometimes she'll even try to downplay your success, making little comments like, "Oh, you've changed," or "You seem different now." But beneath those words is the truth she can't hide. She regrets letting you go. And here's the best part. You don't have to do anything to trigger this except cut her off and grow. That's the beauty of silence combined with progress. While she's stuck in old cycles, you're becoming a better man every single day. And sooner or later, she realizes she lost not just the man you were, but the man you are becoming. That's the kind of regret that doesn't fade. It lingers because deep down she knows she could have been by your side but chose to walk away. 6. She tries. She tries to come back into your life. Indirectly, to come back into your life indirectly. When regret really starts eating her up, she won't always come back with a straight, "I miss you." That's too vulnerable. Too much of a blow to her pride. Instead, she'll look for indirect ways to slide back into your life. Maybe she talks to your friends, hoping word gets back to you. Maybe she shows up in places she knows you'll be. Maybe she suddenly acts friendly on social media, liking every post or leaving comments that hint at closeness. These are not coincidences. These are her attempts to slip back in without admitting she regrets losing you. Why does she do this? Because her ego still fights with her heart. Part of her knows she made a mistake, but another part refuses to admit it openly. So, she takes the backdoor approach. She'll laugh a little louder when she knows you're around. She'll use excuses to stay in your circle. She might even act as if she's just checking up on people close to you, when in reality, her real target is you. This indirect comeback is one of the clearest signs of regret, because if she didn't care, she wouldn't even bother. This is the stage where most men crack. They see her energy returning and think, "This is it. She's finally realizing my value." And then they open the door too wide, too fast. But here's the truth. If you let her back in too easily, you erase the very regret that brought her there. She needs to feel that regaining access to your life is no longer automatic. That's the lesson. That's the pain that makes her see your worth. So when she tries to return indirectly, don't rush to meet her halfway. Stay composed. Stay focused on yourself. Show her without words that you are not waiting, not desperate, not longing for her return. If she truly regrets losing you, she'll keep trying harder. And with each attempt, her pride weakens, her regret deepens, and her realization becomes undeniable. You were the man she should have valued all along. That's the beauty of silence and strength. You don't chase, you don't explain, you don't open doors for free. You let her feel the weight of losing access, and that's when her regret becomes real, heavy, and unforgettable. 7. She admits her mistakes, even subtly admits her mistakes, even subtly. The final and most powerful sign that a woman truly regrets losing you is when she begins to admit her mistakes, sometimes openly, sometimes in subtle hints. At first, her pride won't allow it. She'll dance around the truth, blaming circumstances or saying things just didn't work out. But when regret grows stronger than ego, her words change. She starts slipping in lines like, "I should have appreciated you more." Or, "Not many guys are like you," or, "Looking back, I realize you were really good to me." These may sound casual, but they're heavy confessions. They mean her mind is replaying the past and her heart is admitting she mishandled it. This doesn't happen quickly. It only comes after silence, distance, and watching you grow without her. At first, she'll resist acknowledging she was wrong, but regret is a weight. It presses on her every time she compares other men to you. Every time she remembers the moments you gave her that no one else can. Eventually, the truth slips out. She lost something valuable, and deep down she knows it was her fault. Now, this is the stage that tests your strength the most, because when a woman admits her mistakes, it tugs at your emotions. You might feel the urge to forgive instantly, to let her back in just because she finally said what you were waiting to hear. But here's where wisdom is crucial. Regret means nothing if there are no actions behind it. Words are cheap. A true admission of loss comes with changed behavior, not just sweet apologies. So when she starts admitting her mistakes, don't rush to rescue her. Don't give her the satisfaction of knowing a few words can undo all the silence and growth you built. Instead, stay calm, composed, and observe. Let her prove with consistent actions that she truly values what she once threw away. That's when her regret transforms into true respect. And here's the ultimate truth. By cutting her off completely, you didn't just make her regret losing you. You forced her to confront herself. You made her see the difference between a man who begs and a man who builds. And when she finally admits her mistakes, whether softly or directly, that's her way of saying she knows she lost a man she may never find again. Conclusion. Outro. At the end of the day, making a woman regret losing you is not about revenge, games, or proving a point. It's about shifting the power back to where it belongs, inside you. Most men think regret comes from chasing harder, from showing loyalty even when she disrespected it, from waiting by the phone hoping she'll come back. But that never works. Regret is not born from your presence. It is born from your absence. It grows in the silence you create when you cut her off completely and choose yourself instead. Understand this. People don't regret what they can always reach. They regret what's gone. They don't miss what's available on demand. They miss what disappears without warning. When you remove yourself, when you stop explaining, when you stop giving her the attention she once took for granted, that's when the shift happens. That's when her mind starts replaying old memories. When her pride begins to crumble, when she realizes the comfort she thought was permanent is gone forever. But the real lesson here isn't about her. It's about you. Cutting her off is not just a strategy to make her regret. It's a declaration of self-respect. It's you telling the world, I will not be an option. I will not beg for attention. I will not waste my energy proving my worth to someone blind to it. That mindset is what makes you powerful. And ironically, it's that very power that makes her regret losing you. When the signs appear, when she starts testing you, comparing men to you, finding excuses to talk, bringing up old memories, showing jealousy, sneaking back indirectly, and finally admitting her mistakes, you'll know your silence worked. But by then, the decision is no longer hers. It's yours. You get to decide if she earns another chance or if her regret will remain permanent. That's the beauty of self-control. You stop being the one chasing and you become the one choosing. So remember, don't chase, don't beg, don't explain. Cut her off completely. Focus on your growth, your purpose, your future. Let her regret come naturally while you rise higher every single day. Because the greatest revenge is not in words or arguments. It's in becoming the man she never thought you could be and the man she can never replace.